Hello everyone, this is Shurit from Yugioh Everything. But in all seriousness guys, this is not a joke video against Yugioh Everything. Unfortunately, I know how much you love me making videos against other YouTubers for some odd reason. I personally enjoy making them as well. One of my dark secrets right there, but I don't really bash other YouTubers, it's just all jokes. But this video is really a tribute to Yugioh Everything for everything that wasn't intentional, I didn't mean to do that. For everything he contributed to the anime fans in this community. I know a lot of people grew up watching the anime. A lot of people still watch the anime. I've watched all the animes myself and watched all the episodes of Vrains. I'm waiting for the next one to come out, and I'm going to spend the next 2 years just watching these Vrains episodes because they come out once a week. I'm pretty sure every week I have 20 minutes of my time to dedicate to watching Vrains. So I definitely think I owe it to him, and I owe it to everything he's given to us through his videos, for me to make a tribute video to him, giving you guys a Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains episode 11 review. And if you guys didn't know, Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything's channel did get free copyright strikes, meaning he is unable to upload anymore and possibly unable to access his channel. A lot of people have started like Reddit posts, or maybe it was Pojo post, one of them websites. I don't really use them. I was just searching up Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything to see if he was actually gone, but it turns out he is actually gone. He has got his free copyright strikes. I was aware that he had his free copyright strikes because I tried to go back on one of his videos and it had a copyright strike that previously didn't have a copyright strike, and he already had two, meaning he had three in total. So he's unable to upload anymore, and he did say if this case was to happen, then he's not going to create a backup channel. So he is pretty much finished with YouTube, apart from his other channel, but I mean with YouTube, like doing Yu-Gi-Oh! Content. So yeah, unfortunately he's gone. I can carry on going on about how much we miss him and how much he contributed to us anime fans. However, I'm not going to go into that because I really want to get into this video. So we're going to be doing Vrains episode 11 review. As I said before, I rewatched the episode to make sure I remember a lot of things about it, took some notes, did all the good stuff you need for anime reviews, because they turn out to be a lot harder than the content I bring, because the stuff I say in my videos is most of the time impulsive. But this time I've got a mini script. So Yash Shahani, I think your name is, no dissing me for using a script. I seriously need one for these anime things because there's a lot of stuff going on and a lot of stuff to remember. So going right into the episode, the first scene, once again spoilers in here, so if you haven't watched Vrains, please turn the video off in 1, 2, 3. Anything you hear now is your own fault. So we start off the episode by seeing the AI Ignis floating on water, and he refers to himself as sleeping. Now obviously sleeping is something an AI or a program can't really do. We all know that there's like the sleep function on your computer and you can do stuff like that, but actually sleeping in the human way isn't really possible for programs. So the fact that the animators are giving Ignis these human-like qualities, these human attributes, can really possibly show that maybe Ignis is going to become more human-like and could foreshadow something happening in the future. And this is actually amazing because it relates to the fact that later on Revolver says that Ignis is the only AI with free will, which Yusaku is obviously skeptic about, showing Yusaku's like linear thought of mind. That's really the best way I could put it, which stems from his wasted childhood. Now his wasted childhood is another theme explored in this episode quite a bit, and I will go into that later. But yeah, it is really good because the fact that Revolver actually said that Ignis is an AI with free will, which as we know in the real world is impossible, is really good because that relates to the fact that Ignis was able to refer to himself as sleeping, making himself look more human-like, and the fact that he has a free will is something that most humans have, and you wouldn't really say that computer programs have free will because humans create them and humans control them. So yeah, that's all we have on Ignis right now. I'll go later on into that topic when we carry on going through the video. I'm trying to do this in chronological order. So the next person to appear on screen is Emma. Emma is, seriously, I really hate her. In my opinion, she's a waste of screen time. I understand that she's needed for Kusanagi and for Akira to be able to see into the duel and watch like Revolver versus Yusaku, but seriously, her presence just really pisses me off. If you're one of them people who just really don't like Emma, I'm pretty sure you'll understand what I'm trying to say here. But I really don't like seeing her on screen. I'm just like, show me the duel. I know this is all plot stuff and you need to show up, but I don't like you. Get off my screen. I don't want to watch you. And that's not really the best thing to say, but that's my opinion. I really do not like Emma at all as a character. character. But that obviously is what she's meant to be. She's meant to be a hated character because that's the persona she's throwing. She's kind of like, as Dylan said himself, she kind of has a Rouge the Bat persona where she's kind of like double crossing people, stealing, all this kind of stuff that we would class as negative in the real world. So another negative thing I can say is the background choice has sometimes not been the best in Vrains, and we can see this during Revolver's turn. It isn't the best at the beginning. It kind of improves later on when he starts link summoning, but for a while it just doesn't suit with the moment and suit with what's going on right now. So there's just another little complaint I have. It's not too much of a big deal though. I'm not going to really like have this huge complaint and like say I'm not watching the anime because of this. It's definitely not the worst thing in the world, but still it would be nice for them to improve it, because music choices has been something that they that hasn't been the best in Vrains. There has been some good music choices. There is this one really good one when it's like a really tense moment. I can't really like, I don't know, I know like the tune goes through my head, but I can't really like hum it or something. It's not even going to appear on the video, be hid in the video if I hum it. So yeah, I can't really explain it, but I'm sure you people who watch Vrains can know which music I'm talking about. So then another thing is that Playmaker becomes the underdog a lot. This is throughout the whole series, but it was especially in this episode when he got attacked directly for 3,000 points of damage, which rarely happens in Yu-Gi-Oh actually, because all characters actually do have 4,000 life points only. Therefore the fact that he got hit for 3,000 damage is like a lot, is a high percentage. I'm not like working out percentages in my head right now, but it's a high percentage of his life points gone right away. So that's actually 3 out of 4, so it's 75%. There we go, maths for you guys, is actually 74%. So I really do like this style of duel, even though other protagonists have been in a less advantageous position against antagonists and against other characters. I believe Yusaku always seems to be in a losing position most of the time, and that really gives like another layer to his character, and it's actually really interesting because like it's really nice to see his comeback after that, because like deep down you know the protagonist never loses, but it kind of makes it out that Yusaku's going to lose, but then he makes this really huge comeback, and I can really the way they left this episode like hanging is, I can definitely see a comeback happening considering the 2 last plays Yusaku did, but I'll go into that later. So it's also dramatic that a lot of people are relying on him. If you don't know, after he got attacked for 3,000 damage, he was on the floor for a while, and then he got back up saying, oh, I need to remember 3 things to stay alive and fight, which I will of course go into as well. But it's really dramatic that Aoi, who is currently in a coma, Akiru, who wants Aoi back, and even Kusanagi to find his brother, is relying on Yusaku. And it's really dramatic that Yusaku's on the floor, and it's just like, well, he needs to get up for 3 different people. It's not just for himself. And I really like that about Yu-Gi-Oh, where it's not like Yusaku doesn't seem like a selfish protagonist. He seems like he cares about others and he's working for others, and I really like people like that. That's why I didn't really like Yugioh's character as much, because Yugioh was kind of like, yeah, I'm gonna spread the fun to everybody, which is kind of cool, but like I really like the dark side of things a little bit more. So I hope that didn't come out in the wrong way, but you guys know what I mean. So also the flashback scene was really intriguing. The flashback scene where he was a kid and he was like dueling in this little box thing or whatever. It actually gives off the impression that Yusaku was really like brutally trained to duel, because he was on the floor and one of the program was saying to him, remember 3 things to get up, and that really stuck with me. That was just like, bloody hell, this guy's a kid, leave him alone. Like, why is he even in here? Why isn't he enjoying his childhood? And that's what I mean, that's what I meant by wasted childhood before. And I actually wrote this wasted childhood note before I saw this, and I was just like, oh yeah, this relates to it as well. So I guess my wasted childhood theory seems decent at the moment. So also the fact that Yusaku overcomes Fire Prison, which is the card that locks down all Cybursts. It basically says that Cyburst monsters on the field don't really count as monsters, and you can't like attack with them, and they don't count as monsters because your opponent can still attack you directly if they're on the field. So the fact that he easily overcomes it by like using the monsters to link summon into Firewall Dragon, and one thing I found really interesting is he actually used a link 3 and a link 3 to summon Firewall Dragon, but I actually wasn't aware of the rule where you don't have to use link markers. So Deco Toko could have counted as just a 1 as 1 monster, which I found pretty cool because I didn't really know that rule. I read all the link rules and I just must have skipped by that too quickly and not remembered it. But yeah, so I found that pretty interesting, and so the fact that he overcome it really does show Cyburst's power in my opinion. And then one of the the best things of the episode was it was, of course, Firewall Dragon's first summon, and it looked amazing. Seriously, Firewall Dragon's summon was beautiful. The way he materialized was absolutely amazing, just his wings coming out and everything. Even Ignis refers to it once he comes back as, oh, we got an amazing dragon and stuff. Oh, now he's got an amazing dragon as well, and just everything. It was an amazing dragon. I don't think Ignis said amazing, but he said something like that. I can't remember fully what he said, but yeah. And then the fact that when Yusaku was link summoning for what Firewall Dragon, he was using Enko Toka and Deco Toka. Revolver really like changed his attitude. He was like, oh, what, you're using 2 of your ace monsters to link summon? And the fact that we've seen Revolver as such an arrogant character from the beginning of Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains up until episode 11, which is the current episode, is really, really funny, because I thought that really like kind of subverted his personality in a way, because it was just like Revolver seemed like such this powerful character. He could control a data storm, but the minute he sees Yusaku links using his ace monsters as link summons, he's obviously shows that he's kind of scared and he's fearful of what's going to come next, which I found really interesting, because it really kind of showed the fact that Revolver actually isn't as powerful as he makes himself look, and this arrogance that he is kind of like showing could be potentially like a fake persona. And maybe it's because Revolver's never really had much challenge in his life before, and Playmaker is the challenge that is going to really like stop this and beat Revolver and everything, because I'm pretty sure Playmaker will beat Revolver, because that's how it works. Protagonists always beat the antagonists, and if Yusaku was to lose, then it would kind of be stupid, because Aoi would still be stuck in a coma, so it would make no sense for Yusaku to lose unless Revolver suddenly becomes good and Yusaku gives him the win. So then the fact that AI, another thing is just I want to mention briefly, is that the AI always provides comic relief. So when the AI came back, as I said before, he goes, oh, you got an amazing dragon, he's got an amazing dragon, and despite the fact that it's such a dire situation, because Barrel Load Dragon still has more attack points than Firewall Dragon, and Barrel Load Dragon still has its strong effects and everything, the fact that that's still happening and going on, but the fact that Ignis seems to see the positive side of it and making jokes like, oh, you have an amazing dragon, I find it really funny. And I think that Ignis really does add that little bit of comedy to the anime, and like they tried it in Arc 5 with like the kids and with Yugioh himself and stuff, and even Yugioh was a funny character, but it didn't really stick as much as with the AI, because you see the AI present in every episode, and previously the AI has made jokes about like, oh, Yusaku talking to a girl, could you imagine that, like being sarcastic, and I find like his sarcasm really funny. And then obviously Firewall Dragon's attack was really good. It actually showed why Firewall Dragon has an alternate art. Basically, Firewall Dragon's alternate art in the OCG is actually like Firewall Dragon turned red, and I understood why it's turned red, because that's actually the colour he changes when he's attacking, and it's called Tempest Attack, and it looks really it looks really good. Like, I wasn't really a fan of Odd Eye's Pendulum Dragon's attack, however Tempest Attack looks much better. It looks much more like effective. It's really memorable. I can still imagine the image in my head. I was still remembering it even though I watched the episode a week ago, and then when I rewatched it, it's definitely still sticking with me. Seriously, Firewall Dragon's attack was beautiful. It reminded me a lot of Stardust Dragon's attack. Stardust Dragon and Firewall Dragon seem to remind me a lot of each other, just the way they were summoned and how beautiful they look compared to like Odd Eyes and Utopia, because like they were just like monsters that eventually got power-ups and were just strong cards, but they never looked as nice. But definitely Firewall Dragon looks really good. And then the fact that this is something I figured out the minute I watched this. This wasn't just from me rewatching it. It was the fact that Cynet Universe put back Enko Toka in the extra deck, and I was just like, this definitely means that Yusaku is going to summon Enko Toka again. And I was obviously right, because later on in the episode he was recorded alive, and then he summoned back Enko Toka. So that definitely shows what's going to happen later on in the episode, because if you don't know, Firewall Dragon has a really broken effect that says you can target cards in the graveyard or on the field up to the mutual links of this card, return them to the hand. So the fact that Enko Toka and Firewall Dragon are now mutually linked, because Firewall Dragon is now in the main monster zone, because he was brought back with a trap card, from the graveyard, meaning like he goes to the main master zone, because only monster summon from the extra deck goes to the extra deck master zone, and now Enko Toka's on top of him. They have a mutual link to each other, means that Yusaku is potentially going to bounce back barrel load dragon to the extra deck, but that seems a bit too easy, so it could mean that Revolver does have a trap up his sleeve. So it really does open up a lot of possibilities, not potentialities or whatever I was going to say then, ignore me please, but yeah, possibilities for the next episode, which I found really interesting. And another thing that I want to relate back to Arc 5 and Vrains, is this one line right at the end. This is the last thing Yusaku says, and he says, "The real fight is only getting started." But if we remember Arc 5, if you guys have watched that, Yugioh says, "The fun is only getting started." And even though it wasn't translated like that in the subs, it's actually what they say in Japanese that is exactly the same, so I definitely know it's a relation. And I thought that was kind of cool that the animators decided to put that in, or the writers decided to put that in, because that is really interesting. The fact that it clearly shows a huge distinction between Yugioh and Yusaku. Yusaku has this kind of grim outlook on life. He seems to not care about what other people say and stuff. He doesn't really care about making people happy. He's just there for revenge and stuff. And that brings me on to my next point. And this is from the preview, actually. The preview happens after the end song, which is Believe in Magic, if you don't know what the end song is called. And it says, the preview is pretty much generic. It was just like a load of flash scenes between Yusaku and Revolver giving us plot fodder, but it wasn't very interesting plot fodder, apart from this line which said, 10 years have transformed a boy into an envoy of revenge. Now that is really interesting, seriously. So obviously they're talking about Yusaku here. This also relates to my wasted childhood theory, which is kind of true right now. It's not really a theory anymore. It's kind of been proven by the amount of people who have said things like this, and by the quotes from the anime itself. So that that line was really, really interesting, because in my view, the fact that Yusaku's kind of an envoy of revenge, it kind of like trying to imply that, oh, Yusaku's just full of revenge, all he wants is revenge, he's just trying to like get everybody out of his way until he finds that person he's looking for, until he achieves his goals and stuff. And I really like people like that. I can relate to him, because I really like people who strive towards their goals. Obviously I can't relate to him on the to the extent that he's trying to like save somebody's life, but obviously I can still relate to him that he's trying to strive so hard towards his goals. And it really gives Yusaku a more relatable personality compared to Yugioh, and makes him look a lot maturer, and once again explains why Yusaku is so antisocial. And by antisocial I don't mean drinking and killing and beating people up in alleyways. I mean just not being able to properly socialize with others. Like for example, his scenes with Aoi were really awkward. Like he accidentally upset her by asking her these questions that weren't really the best to say, and that definitely does mean that Yusaku has had a wasted childhood. He wasn't able to have a kind of fun childhood. He's just been stuck in that kind of chamber thing that they showed in the flashback before, and I think that's really cool, because I think that brings a lot more plot for the later episodes and can definitely be explained really well. Whereas in other animes you just saw a lot of duels and you saw a lot of like new characters being introduced, but definitely all these characters have been properly introduced with their proper backstories and everything. So definitely these random odd lines in Vrains that you just have to instantly see and just impulsively be like, yep, I know what that means, is really good, and really gives the anime a little bit of like a boost compared to other animes, because it makes it a lot more relatable. So thank you guys for watching. Once again, thank you Dylan for giving us this amazing content. If you happen to be watching it, obviously you probably won't watch it, but if you do, if somebody informs you that I made this video for you, then please, you can smash the thumbs up button. All you other guys, smash the thumbs up button. Definitely a harder video to make, definitely a kind of video I haven't done before. Please don't expect more of these, because I'm potentially not going to do more of these. It was pretty enjoyable to watch the anime, take notes and record, but I don't seem, I'm not really as good as Dylan is, and I'm not trying to like take up his mantle or anything. So it could potentially happen. It's not an impossibility, but at the same time it's not very likely. But if you guys get an episode 12 review, then please be happy, because that means I've definitely decided to carry on with this anime series. So obviously, once again, thank you guys for watching. This has been Shurit. Peace.